Hello, and welcome to President Pat's podcast at North Shore Community College. I'm Dr. Pat Gentili, proud president of North Shore Community College in Massachusetts. Today, I'm delighted to share with you the great news that North Shore Community College has been awarded a $2,248,000 five-year Title III Strengthening Institutions grant. And we got this funding from the United States Department of Education. This money will be utilized to implement a Pathways to Success program over the next 5 years to boost North Shore Community College student retention and completion. It's one of only 3 Department of Education grants provided in Massachusetts this year, and the only one awarded to a community college. So we're really proud about capturing these dollars. I'm fortunate enough today to have 2 key participants with me who can tell us all about this grant and this exciting new initiative, what it'll mean to the college. Dr. Karen Hynick, Vice President of Academic Affairs, is here, as well as John Duff, Dean of Student Success. So welcome to you both, and thank you so much for making time to come and enlighten our listeners on this grant. So Karen, we're going to start with you. Can you give me some background on how this proposal came to be? I know it was years in the making.
It was.
And what are some of the goals that are involved in the grant?
Sure, Pat, and thanks very much for the opportunity to be here today. At its core, the funding is a big investment in the college's capacity to deliver on our existing guided pathways model and prepare our students for both career and transfer. It allows us to better serve our students and greatly enhance the student experience here at North Shore Community College. We will connect many disparate components across the college to streamline and strengthen our service to our students. And though this will help our students better understand and monitor their own educational and career goals, monitor their progress, and support them in their journey.
Well, this is great. And I know that it doesn't sound like a lot, that students get to monitor their academic performance, that are really involved in helping to make decisions about their own guided pathway. And we hope, underlined with that is more advisors and more wraparound services for our students' success. So if you could talk a little bit about the initiative's 3 components and describe them to our listeners.
I'd be happy to. So first, the funding allows us to create Pathways to Success, which is really overhauling the advising experience. We will be implementing a new tool called EAB Navigate, which will be able to provide clear and coherent pathways to graduation, help in the advising opportunity, as well as helping students to get connected to supports they may need that will help them with their success.
Okay, so before you go on, EAB Navigate, you said it's a tool, but what exactly does that mean?
So it's a technology tool that students will actually get into a platform where they'll be able to see their guided pathway, track their degree audit, and also choose their classes in the right order that they need to take them in.
Oh, that's
and
wonderful.
Then communicate with their advisor through technology.
That's great. Sorry to interrupt.
No, that's
but
great.
I thought before we go on, we should know what the tool is.
I'm glad you were able to do that. We will also have another significant part to this. It's really making sure that we are looking at gateway classes and making them more contextualized, as well as making sure that we are scaling up on our first-year experience classes so that those 2 are contextualized towards the pathway that they're going into. So, for instance, students can take a first-year experience class and learn more about careers in STEM or learn more about careers in healthcare if they're not quite sure about which specific field they want to go into.
Well, that'll also open their eyes as to what's available here. Mm-hmm. For example, we have lots of students who come here and they say, I want to be a nurse. But they really may not understand that we have 12 different course programs in healthcare. And so, maybe if nursing they find out they really don't like to see blood, for example, they can go into another pathway and not sort of waste their time or their courses
Correct.
in that.
Just like if they decide they don't like to interact with people, they might want to do surgical technology. They can still certainly be engaged in the medical field. They might like blood, because there
Right.
are people who do.
And knocked out people,
and
apparently.
and not mind people who are knocked out, but still have a great high wage, high demand career where they're assured to get a job at the end of their education.
And what other components are in this grant?
So the components are really around making sure that we're using technology. So not just for advising of what classes to take, and I'm sure John will speak a little bit more towards this, but it's really about also leveraging EAB Navigate in regards to early alerts when students are not on track for classes or struggling in a class, how to help connect them to the resources we have on campus through a technology solution. So it's going to take us somewhere between 12 to 18 months to fully implement EAB Navigate, and we'll start first on the advising side because we want to make sure people are enrolled in the right classes, but it will also give us the opportunity to update and bring us into the 21st century as far as with early alerts, midterm alerts, academic alerts, so that advisors are aware, students are aware, teachers are aware, and we're more holistic on the students' care.
Well, this is wonderful. I know that some of our sister institutions are already using EAB Navigate and speak highly of the power behind this technology tool. So, John, we are just so delighted that you've agreed to take this initiative on.
Well, thank you.
I think your particular background, especially overseeing advising, knowing the technology tools already utilized at the college, and being aware of what this tool can do is going to be a great help to make the implementation of this Title III grant a successful one. So why don't you fill us in a little bit on what you plan to be doing, why this work is so important, and what the expected outcomes are.
Well, I'm really excited about this opportunity. I think, like, as you have outlined, it's an opportunity for the college to update our ways of communicating with our students and helping them stay on track. I think right now that we have a lot of people around the college who are working with their students and really invested in what they're doing, but not always communicating well across components. A faculty member may be working closely with a student who's also getting services from Veteran Services, or other places in the college, and EAB Navigate will help coordinate that care, essentially, to give them a better way to see how we're communicating to the students. The students keep track of what their advisor told them or what their faculty members' feedback if they're giving them on their progress in their class. And I think this is a way that's pretty accessible for both our students and for our staff and faculty, and that's really exciting. It also, kind of gives us an opportunity to coordinate that support, better keep track of how our students are doing, and make sure that their goals, their academic goals, are aligning with their career goals. And I think that that's really interesting aspect about this as well. Providing us with an opportunity to hopefully do a little bit more career exploration with our students, and also tie that into internship opportunities and other supports that they can get at the college.
That's great. Every time we talk about a new technology, I know that some people go, oh no, because they have to learn a new tool as well. So can you tell us a little bit about how we're going to roll this out in terms of making sure that everybody who needs to understand this new technology, needs to work with it, is going to have an opportunity to do that?
Right. Well, I think that you're right. I think that's one of the things that gets scary for people sometimes is when they have to learn a whole new system. But the one thing that we're seeing with this product, EAB Navigate, is our colleagues at other institutions who've used it are really excited about its accessibility. So I think what we want to do is work with the EAB Navigate team to set it up well here, sort of work out the kinks, and then roll it out to our users, and provide hands-on opportunities for them to play around with the tool a little bit, get used to it, get comfortable, see what it can do, and think about how it can apply to their work and what they're doing. And I think in particular, what are the challenges that they're seeing in their work, and how can this be a tool that solves some of those problems for them?
Well, it's pretty exciting, I agree. And I'm one of those, I guess, technology nerds who loves to see what the new technology is and how it's going to help me do my work and hopefully make things better for our students. Karen, let's go back to you. What else do you think our listeners need to know about this to not only be excited about it as we are, but to be comfortable about what the next 5 years are going to look like?
Sure. So I think, as John mentioned, we are going to get an implementation team together. That's going to be a cross-section of student affairs, faculty from each division, folks from IS, folks from financial services, so that we can really all understand the product before anything's launched and really have input into which aspects we launch first and how that ties back to our data. And I think that will be really helpful. It will take us a few months to really have conversations with the AB, and that's what we're hoping to begin to launch still this spring and really roll out more in the fall. But we are hoping that in the not-so-distant future, within a year, we will be able to use this tool to really revolutionize the way we communicate with our students and ensure that they're successful. There will be opportunities for them to use texting. There will be opportunities for them to communicate if they have needs around hunger and homelessness. There will be opportunities for advisors and faculty to see one another's notes. That in and of itself is revolutionary for us here at North Shore, and for students to see their notes. And we'll be able to really track their progress in a much more intuitive way.
Well, I must say, that's pretty exciting. John, anything you want to add to this?
The other thing that's interesting about the Title III grant is it's got a really nice opportunity to address some of the Department of Education priorities, which increasing student access to internships and career planning, and also educating students around financial literacy. We've tried to do this in the past, and this is going to give us another opportunity to kind of address some of those needs. It also aligns well with the Massachusetts Department of Higher Education Equity Agenda. We've heard a lot about that recently, and this is a project that will allow us to focus on college access, retention, and completion for all of our students.
That's wonderful. Obviously, the equity agenda at the Board of Higher Education is something we are responsible to implement, and that really means narrowing and eventually eliminating the achievement gaps between our white students and our students of color. And so any tool that we can use to help our students be more successful is a wonderful thing, which is why talking to the Dean of Student Success is wonderful as well, because this is really our goal down the line, to help our students not only get here, but stay here until they reach their educational goal and do it in a successful way. So this is really very exciting. I'm very grateful to the United States Department of Education for making this opportunity available to us. We had a couple iterations of this grant over time, learned from each, and finally accomplished actually getting a wonderful award. And so all the folks who were involved in the development of the grant, just a really, truly grateful president here saying thank you for all that hard work over the years. And to you too, both of you who have been instrumental in this and will be instrumental going forward, want to say thank you as well for your commitment to our students and what this will mean down the line for both our employees, our faculty, our professional staff, and to our students, most of all. So thank you for this. This certainly is going to benefit our students. And Karen and John, it was a real pleasure having you on the podcast today to tell our listeners about our new Pathways to Success grant. I hope everybody who's listened to this is now as excited as we are about the opportunity that we've got with these new resources. So this is Dr. Pat Gentili, president of North Shore Community College. I hope you learned something new today. If you're enjoying this podcast, I invite you to subscribe on iTunes or Google Play, and be sure to leave a review or a suggestion of what you'd like to know more about for future episodes. So until next time, ciao.